In today's video, I'm going to be recreating some famous Instagram slime made by Glitter.Slimes, and these are all going to be recreations, but I really hope that you enjoy them. So first up, we're going to be recreating Blueberry Buttercream, which is one of her best sellers. This is a clay-based slime, so I like to add a really simple base, and we're just going to start off with some PVA glue and some foaming hand wash. I added about 8 pumps just to add a bit of fluff without adding shaving foam, and then to get the colour, I just added some food dye in, and I added this really gradually because I wanted it to get to the perfect colour. In total, I added about a teaspoon of food colouring, and I know that sounds like so much, but as you can see, the colour was absolutely perfect. So once it was all mixed in, I just went in with my activator, which is 1 teaspoon of borax to 2 cups of warm water, and I added this really gradually. I did want to leave it a tiny bit sticky because I like to add Daiso clay into mixtures like this, and when you add Daiso, it makes the slime very hard, so if you make a sticky slime, it kind of counteracts the hardness of the clay, so you can add more clay and the slime will still be really soft. So first of all, I added some Daiso, and as you can see, it was still super sticky. So to make it more clay-like, I added a really tiny bit of Model Magic, and I coloured this blue, and it turned into such a thick mixture, and it really reminded me of the original. The next slime we're going to be recreating is Hidden Treasures, and this one sells out so quickly. I've wanted to get my hands on it for ages, and we're going to start off by using some clear glue. Any will work. I'm using Elmer's, and then we're going to need an assortment of silver and gold glitter, and I used ones of different shapes and also different colours just because I like the effect that gives. So as you can see here, I have some chunky glitters and then some finer ones just to give a really nice effect, and it looks so pretty when it was being mixed in. I was mixing it in really slowly because I didn't want it to go cloudy, and then I realised it was going to do that when I played with it anyway, so it was just pointless. So I went ahead and stirred it all in, and after it was stirred in, I went and grabbed my activator, and I recommend using half a teaspoon of borax to 2 cups of warm water or some laundry starch and add it very slowly because for clear slimes they activate so quickly. And as you can see here, it goes from a weird liquid state to kind of like a more sticky state when you pick it up, but it's still not a slime, and then the moment you play with it, it starts pulling together and becoming harder, which is the place that people go wrong normally. If you get like hard clear slimes a lot, this is probably where you're going wrong. Just add 1 piece of activator and then just play with it when it looks way too sticky, and it will fix itself. And then for the final touches, we just want to go in with the gold leaf and add it to the top to make it look super pretty, and this sounds so good when it's being mixed in. The next one has been so requested, and this is Cherry Italian Ice. I didn't get the mixture perfect. I think I added a tiny bit too much snow, but it was pretty close. So I started off by using some white PVA glue, and then I went in with some cornstarch, and this just thickened up the mixture, whilst the shaving foam that I added made it a bit more fluffy. And I know she doesn't like the feel of cornstarch, so the real ingredient is probably something else, but I couldn't figure out what it was, and this was the closest thing I had. Then I went in with the colouring, and again I'm using some food colouring just because I find that this looks so vibrant in white glue. And then we can go with our key ingredient, and this is instant snow. You can get this off eBay and Amazon. I actually got mine off a site called Baker Ross, which is a stationery site, so there are loads of random places that sell it, and it's just a powder that you pour water on, and you need to play with it, and it will expand so much, and when it doesn't feel dry anymore, that's when you know it's ready. I then added 3 handfuls to my mix, but I actually recommend doing it after you've activated your glue mixture, mainly because this will stop you from adding too much snow. I just went ahead and mixed in all of my snow, and after it was mixed in and it was a really thick mixture, I went and grabbed my borax solution. This activated so quickly because we had shaving foam in the mixture, and if you guys don't know, shaving foam actually contains bicarbonate of soda, so it just speeds up the whole activating process. So add a lot less activation than you would to a normal slime when you're using shaving foam. To give it a different texture, I just went ahead and added some Daiso clay just to make it more like stringy, I guess, and it turned out so good. Next up we have crushed lollipop slime, and this is a really nice crunchy slime. We're going to need some clear glue for this, and I'm just using my clear glue from Purple Cat Education. It's a super thin one, and then we want to add the tiniest smidge of food icing colouring. Once that's all mixed in, we can go ahead and grab our plastic filler beads, and these are the things that are used to make like crunchy slushy slimes, I guess you could say, and I get mine off Amazon. I just added a tiny bit of activator because this is a clear slime, and I just stirred it for ages. As you can see, it got super cloudy, and I just added a tiny bit more to get it less sticky, and it turned out so nice. The next slime is one of my absolute favourites just because it's so unique and I love how pigmented it is. So we're going to start off with a really nice thick and fluffy base, and I'm going to start off with some PVA glue, foaming face wash, foaming hand wash, and also shaving foam. And I like to add a lot of shaving foam just because she has like a really unique Model Magic texture to her butter slimes. But the only Model Magic I have is white, so I don't want it to dull the colour. So instead I'm using a really thick and fluffy base to kind of replicate that. Then I went in with some food colouring, and like you can see I added so much, and this only got it to a really dark grey. So I decided to go in with some washable paint, and this is not acrylic, this is a water-based paint, and as you can see this made it so black. It was so gorgeous, and once the colour was all mixed in it was ready to activate. So I just added my activator very gradually because like I said before, this has loads of shaving foam so it won't need much, and as you can see it activated fully almost immediately. I needed to play with it very quickly to make sure it didn't go like a rubbery horrible texture, and it turned out really nice, and like you can see it looks super thick and clay-like. So then I added some actual clay, and this is Daiso clay. Again, this is just to make it a bit thicker, and it also means that you're just making a twist on a butter slime instead of just calling a random slime butter slime. And this one is so nice and thick when you get to play with it. As you can see, it's beautiful, it's so pigmented, it didn't like fade at all even when I kept it in the box, and it was just so nice to poke. Next up we have rainbow chip frosting, and this is one of my favourites just because it's such a simple recipe, and all we're going to be using is PVA glue and foaming hand wash to start off with, and this ensures we're going to have a really nice fluffy base but it won't kind of dilute the solution, so it'll still be really thick. Once we've added all our ingredients we can go with our borax solution, and I like to add this really gradually. Normally I only have to add like 2 little dollops, and this is mainly because with floams you need to leave them super sticky so A, they can be crunchy, and B, they can hold in the beads without falling out so it won't create any mess on your table. So after we've got it to this stage, we just want to go ahead and do the touch test, and basically it's going to feel like a slime but it's just going to be a tiny bit too sticky to touch. Then we can go with our foam beads, and I think these are called polystyrene beads on Amazon. That's where I get them, and I get a 3-pack for £10, which is a lot of money, but these are really good quality. And then I just play with it for a while, and if you want all the beads to rise to the top instead of being mixed in, keep it in an airtight container. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe, and if you have any requests for future videos, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll definitely get back to you.